Have you ever seen someone walk into enemy territory and felt the entire game was about to flip? Eala's arrival in Osaka isn't just another athlete showing up for a tournament. This is a tremor, a warning shot fired by a new generation that's done waiting its turn. If you ask the locals who the queen of these courts is, they'll laugh and say the name that's echoed here for years: Naomi Osaka. This is her home turf, her kingdom, her fortress. But beneath that confident exterior, a nervous whisper is starting to grow. A question that nobody wants to ask out loud. What if the 19-year-old lefty with ice in her veins is the surprise everyone missed? What if the future of tennis is already here, and nobody is remotely ready for it? You can almost feel the old guard gripping their rackets a little tighter. Osaka has always been a stage for established stars, for proven legends. You think of this tournament, and you think of Naomi Osaka's explosive, almost violent power, her lightning-fast footwork, and the deafening roar of her loyal home crowd. But today, that entire script, that entire legacy, might get shredded by a quiet, determined teenager with a weaponized left hand that paints the court with impossible angles. Eala didn't travel across an ocean just to be a placeholder in the draw, a footnote in someone else's story. She's here with a chip on her shoulder, a point to prove, and a real, tangible shot at breaking open the entire tournament in the most spectacular and hostile fashion imaginable. This isn't just another match on the calendar. This is shaping up to be a full-blown uprising, a hostile takeover attempt in the heart of an empire. Let's be clear about the battlefield. Osaka, Japan isn't just a tournament location. It's a fortress, a proving ground, and for many hopefuls, a graveyard of dreams. It's a place where skills are brutally tested, where nerves are shredded under the intense scrutiny of a knowledgeable crowd, and where reputations are forged, or permanently broken, in the crucible of high-stakes pressure cooker competition. It is notoriously not a friendly place for outsiders. For decades, it has been a place where young, hopeful players arrive with big dreams, lose early to the established veterans and home favorites, and leave as mere footnotes in the tournament's long history. The local press is already buzzing. Not with excitement for the newcomer, but with a palpable, almost dismissive skepticism. Can the young Eala, an unseeded wild card, possibly survive the gauntlet of seasoned champions and hungry new talent that is stacked across this absolutely brutal draw? And make no mistake, the draw is a murderer's row of talent, a collection of wolves waiting at the gate. At the top, you have the Empress herself, Naomi Osaka, Japan's national pride, a multiple Grand Slam champion who can blast aces with the casual indifference of someone sending a text message. She is not just a player, she is an icon, and on this court, she is the final boss. Then there's Linda Noskova, the power hitter, the tough, aggressive 20-year-old from the Czech Republic, already known for her fearless, first-strike tennis and a string of top 10 wins that prove she fears no one. Her game is brute force, designed for early knockout blows. In another corner lurks Leylah Fernandez, the rival, the quick, stylish, and cunning Canadian who shares a long and storied history with Eala. Theirs is a rivalry forged in the fires of the junior circuit, a story of both friendship and fierce competition, a personal score waiting to be settled on the biggest stage. And then, there is the ghost of a recent and very public heartbreak, Kristyna Buxa, the very player who sent Alex packing from the recent US Open in 3 brutal, hard-fought sets. This is not a welcoming committee. If you're a newcomer here, you have to fight for every single point, for every single ounce of respect. And you have to do it under the watchful and often critical eyes of a crowd that is there to see its own heroes win and send you home on the next flight. On paper, Eala is the clear underdog, a lamb thrown to the lions. This becomes even more stark when you look at her head-to-head records, or the glaring lack thereof. She has not yet faced Naomi Osaka on the senior tour. That potential matchup is a complete blank slate, a piece of unwritten history that is just begging to be made, a promoter's dream. It's the established, powerful champion against the young, crafty challenger, a classic clash of styles that has tennis analysts salivating at the possibilities. Against the pure force of Linda Noskova, it's the same story. 0 matches played, a complete unknown. Against her old rival, Leylah Fernandez, they have somehow, almost mysteriously, managed to avoid each other on the professional tour, a collision that feels both inevitable and long overdue. And then there is Kristyna Buxa. That name stings. The record shows a fresh, painful loss, a scar that is still healing. It was a match where Alex came agonizingly close, pushed every rally to its absolute limit, but ultimately left the court with a defeat that she has likely replayed in her mind 100 times over. So, with this unproven record against the elite, Why is everyone suddenly whispering the name Eala in the locker rooms and the commentary booths? Because her rise has been fast enough and her talent is obvious enough that it's got seasoned coaches and veteran players scrambling, saying, hey, double-check that bracket. Her game isn't just versatile. It's built for the bright lights and the big moments. Eala's lefty forehand, with its unique, heavy, looping spin that kicks up high and its ability to create bizarre, almost impossible angles, is already a world-class weapon that is bending rallies out of shape and driving opponents crazy. Her high-percentage first serve and her aggressive, fearless willingness to attack weak second serves have earned her the wild cards and the opportunities that are now putting her in this very position. She's carrying a win rate north of 59% since breaking onto the main stage, a statistic that is higher than most first-year pros. That on-court confidence is real, but it's not cockiness. Her team and friends say she obsesses over improvement, that she studies match footage for hours, and that she texts her coach at all hours of the night with new strategies and ideas. She is not just playing the game. She is a student of war, plotting her takeover. If she gets the dream matchup, the box office showdown against Naomi Osaka, the strategic and psychological warfare will be immense. Osaka will be playing in her castle, with a crowd that is practically programmed to roar for her every move, an intimidating wall of sound that can crush the spirit of any opponent before the first set is even over. Alex will stand on the other side of the net as the clear outsider, the villain in their story, with all eyes on her, watching her every reaction, waiting for her to crack under the immense and suffocating pressure. To dethrone the queen in her own court, she will need to have ice in her veins. She will need to do more than just survive Osaka's powerful ground strokes. She will need to plant her returns deep, extend the rallies, and refuse to give away any cheap, easy points. Osaka is famous for her ability to flip the momentum of a match with a single, thunderous swing of her racket. So, Alex's best and perhaps only chance is to play unpredictably. She will need to mix in some slices to break up the rhythm, use her left-handed angles to get Osaka on the run, and turn the match into a grueling physical and mental war of wills, dragging her into the deep water of long, punishing points. The other potential grudge matches are just as tantalizing. A match with her old rival, Leylah Fernandez, could become an instant classic, a tense, psychological chess match where both players know each other's games inside and out. Fernandez's game is built on tempo, angles, and incredible speed. It's almost like ballet with a tennis racket. To win, Eala will need to turn the match ugly. She will need to make it a physical grind, a street fight, and refuse to let Fernandez finish points with a quick, stylish winner. And then there's Buxa. That is the rematch everyone wants to see. It's a story of pure revenge, a chance for Eala to prove that she has learned from her recent public heartbreak and is ready to turn a painful, stinging loss into a triumphant and very, very personal victory. This isn't just a tournament. It's a web of interconnected rivalries and potential showdowns, a drama waiting to explode. Beyond the on-court strategy, there is the silent, off-court war, the immense and crushing weight of expectation. For a global superstar like Osaka, the pressure is to defend her legacy, her brand, and to meet the sky-high expectations of her entire nation. For a newcomer like Eala, the pressure is different, but in many ways, no less intense. She is not just playing for herself. She is carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire country. As one of the most prominent and celebrated athletes from the Philippines, every match she plays is headline news back home. This national pride is a powerful and beautiful motivator, but it can also be a heavy, suffocating burden. A deep run in a tournament like Osaka isn't just about ranking points. It's about life-changing sponsorship deals, global media attention, and the potential to become a massive international brand. The financial stakes are absolutely enormous. A single, high-profile win can be the difference between a comfortable professional career and true generational wealth. This off-court war, fought silently in the minds of the players and loudly in the headlines of the media, often determines who cracks and who thrives under the bright, unforgiving lights of the main stadium. Eala's ability to shut out all of this noise and focus purely on the yellow ball and the white lines will be her greatest and most difficult test. How is any of this even possible for a 19-year-old? It all comes down to the champion's mindset, the rare and almost supernatural ability to forge strength from setbacks. Like any young player, Eala has suffered tough, gut-wrenching losses. But you never get the sense from watching her that she is ever truly beaten. Her team says she takes a bad loss and immediately, almost obsessively, turns it into hours on the practice court, quietly and methodically fixing weakness after weakness. Eala isn't famous for huge, flashy, crowd-pleasing celebrations. She's the kind of player who, after winning a massive match-turning point, will simply and quietly clench her fist, walk back to the baseline, and immediately refocus. Her mind already on the next war, the next point. She is unshaken. In training, she will repeat funky, difficult footwork drills for hours on end. She will blast forehands down the line 100 times in a row and then be the first to tell her coach what went wrong. She takes her game personally, not just professionally. When you contrast this quiet, simmering intensity with the superstardom of Osaka, you see the difference. Naomi brings the crowd noise, an aura of celebrity and power that can intimidate anyone before the first ball is even hit. Eala walks onto the court and seems to shrug it all off. In her mind, it's just a tennis ball, just a court. She's not here to play the game of expectations. She's here to win. This brings us to the tipping point in any great underdog story, the moment the crowd, against its own will, begins to turn. A home court advantage is a powerful and often decisive weapon. The collective energy of thousands of loyal fans can lift a player from the depths of despair and completely demoralize an opponent. But there's a unique and dangerous magic that happens when an underdog starts to win them over. It begins with a few polite, scattered claps for a great shot. Then, a low murmur of appreciation for a gritty, long rally that she refuses to lose. If Eala can absorb the initial storm of Osaka's power and start to match it with her own clever shot-making and defiant spirit, that murmur can grow into a real, palpable buzz. Suddenly, the crowd isn't just cheering for their hero. They are cheering for the fight. They are cheering for the drama. This is the moment when an outsider can steal the very energy of the stadium. If Alex can get the crowd to fall in love with her fight, her spirit, then Osaka is no longer just playing against one opponent. She's playing against the shifting, fickle tides of the entire arena. Winning over the enemy's crowd is the ultimate psychological victory. And it's a weapon that Eala, with her quiet determination and her compelling backstory, is uniquely equipped to wield. So let's imagine the final dramatic scene. Alex Eala stands behind the baseline. The stadium is pulsing with a nervous, electric energy. The cameras are everywhere. It's match point. She's down, but she's still fighting. On the other side of the net, Naomi Osaka steps up to serve, and the entire crowd is chanting her name, begging her to end it. Osaka goes for a huge match-winning serve. Alex stretches, gets her racket on the ball, and sends a deep, defiant backhand return that lands right at Osaka's feet. The rally begins, a tense, brutal, and breathtaking exchange from corner to corner. 10 shots, 15 shots. The tension builds until the entire stadium is holding its collective breath, a dead silence falling over the thousands of people. Then Alex sees a small, almost imperceptible opening, a half step of hesitation from Osaka. She fires a risky, go-for-broke forehand cross-court. The crowd lets out a collective gasp. The ball sails through the air, and for a moment it looks like it's going out. But it drops, landing just inside the line. The umpire checks the mark. In. Alex clenches her fist, maybe allows herself a tiny, split-second smile, but gives nothing away. This isn't just another point. This could be the start of something real. The moment a challenger becomes a true contender. The moment an uprising becomes a revolution. After the match, the players will talk quietly in the tunnels. The fans will swarm social media. The internet will explode. And everybody, everywhere, will be asking the same question. Who is this kid? Alex Eala's arrival in Osaka is more than a potential upset. It's a wake-up call to the entire world of tennis. Some people came to this tournament expecting to see the stars they already know. They might just get a glimpse of the future instead.